It was just past 7 in the morning when the boy gently opened the door to the hospital room. His hands trembled as he held his old scratched guitar. The room was quiet, except for the slow, steady beeping of the monitor beside the hospital bed. His mother lay there, her face pale, her breathing shallow but calm. Noah was only 12, but he had the eyes of someone who had lived through too much. Every morning for the past week, he had come to this hospital room before school. He would sit on the wooden chair beside her, place the guitar on his lap and begin to play. Soft notes filled the sterile air, and though his fingers were still small, the music that came from them carried something far greater than talent. It carried hope. Noah's mother had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer just 2 months ago. She had been everything to him. She worked double shifts at the local diner, sang lullabies every night, and never let Noah go to bed without telling him she loved him. But now, she could barely lift her hand. And yet, every time he played that guitar, her lips would twitch into the faintest smile. "This one's for you, Mama," he whispered, as he began strumming a soft melody he had written the night before. Unbeknownst to Noah, down the hospital hallway, a man dressed in a baseball cap and dark hoodie paused as he heard the faint tune floating through the corridors. He had come to visit a friend in the cancer ward, but something about that guitar sound, it stopped him. Keanu Reeves had always tried to keep a low profile when visiting hospitals. He believed in helping quietly, without cameras or attention. He wasn't here to be a celebrity. He was here to listen, to care, to remind himself of what mattered in life. He had lost his own loved ones, his daughter, his partner, and the ache had never left him. But when he heard that boy playing, something in his chest shifted. He followed the sound slowly, cautiously, until he reached the room with the cracked open door. He peeked inside. The boy didn't see him, and neither did the nurse who stood at the far end checking the IV. Keanu just stood there, silently watching as Noah played with all his heart. Then the boy stopped and gently rested his head on his mother's hand. "Mama, I'm gonna make it. I'll be on TV someday, and when people ask who I played for first, I'll tell them, I played for you." Keanu stepped back, swallowing hard. He had seen many moments in his life, on set, in interviews, in private conversations, but this was different. It was real, raw, unfiltered. He didn't know who the boy was, but he knew that he couldn't walk away. The next day, Noah returned to the hospital again before school, but something had changed. A nurse told him the bill for his mother's treatment had been covered by an anonymous donor. And there was more. A small music scholarship application had been left for him at the front desk. No one knew who had sent it. Noah's eyes widened as he looked around. "Who did this?" The nurse smiled gently. "Someone who heard your music." Later that week, something even more unbelievable happened. During the hospital's annual Community Day, a small event was arranged in the lobby. They had invited a few local musicians to play for the patients and families. Noah, encouraged by one of the nurses, signed up to perform. He was nervous. His hands shook as he stepped up to the microphone. He had never played for a crowd before. His mother watched from her wheelchair, wrapped in blankets, her smile weak but proud. Noah cleared his throat. "This song is for my mom." He began to strum, his voice low and unsure at first. Then, slowly, it grew. The room fell quiet. People stopped talking, turned their heads, and listened. Even the nurses in the back paused what they were doing. The boy's voice wasn't perfect, but his heart was. And that made all the difference. And then, from the corner of the room, someone stood up. Noah didn't notice at first. His eyes were closed, his head tilted as he focused on every note. But then a murmur spread through the crowd. Whispers and gasps. Someone had walked toward the stage and stood beside the boy, nodding slowly to the rhythm. It was Keanu Reeves. Noah opened his eyes mid-song and froze. His hands stopped. The room went silent. "Don't stop," Keanu said softly, crouching beside him. "You're doing amazing." Noah stared, wide-eyed. "You're Keanu Reeves. Keanu chuckled quietly. Yeah, but today, I'm just a guy who wants to play with you. May I? He gestured to the second guitar on the stand nearby. Noah, still speechless, nodded slowly. Keanu picked up the guitar, sat down beside him, and together they played. 2 guitars, 1 harmony, an actor and a boy, a superstar and a son. There were no cameras, no media, no spotlight, just music and love. Noah's mother cried silently from her seat. When they finished, the whole lobby erupted into cheers and clapping. Noah looked at Keanu and whispered, "Why did you do this?" Keanu placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Because when I was your age, someone believed in me, and now, I believe in you." Noah didn't know what to say. He didn't have to. The tears in his eyes said everything. But that was just the beginning. What no one knew was that something even bigger was already in motion, something that would change Noah's life forever, and test his courage in ways he could never imagine. Noah couldn't sleep that night. He lay on the small couch in the hospital room, watching his mother breathe. The sounds of the machines around her had become familiar, almost like a lullaby. But this night felt different. Something inside him had shifted. He wasn't just a boy with a guitar anymore. He was someone Keanu Reeves had played beside. He was someone a crowd had cheered for. And yet, it didn't feel like a dream. It felt real, painfully, beautifully real. His mother stirred in her bed, her voice barely above a whisper. "You were incredible today, Noah." He turned to her, eyes wide. "You saw it?" "I heard every note." She smiled faintly, her eyes misty. "And I saw the way that man looked at you, like he knew you were something special." Noah nodded slowly. "I want to make you proud, Mama. I want to keep going." "Then promise me," she whispered, gripping his hand weakly. "No matter what happens, you keep playing, even if I'm not here. Keep playing, Noah." His lips trembled. "Don't say that. You're going to get better." She closed her eyes and didn't answer. The next morning, everything moved fast. Hospital staff were buzzing. Noah stepped out to grab a muffin from the downstairs cafeteria, and when he returned, a nurse ran to him. "Noah, someone's waiting for you in the music room." "Me?" he asked, confused. "Yes, and, well, you're not going to believe who it is." He walked down the hallway, unsure of what he was about to find. The hospital's small music room was a quiet place where volunteers sometimes played piano or sang to calm the patients, but today there was no gentle piano music. Instead, someone was tuning a guitar. He opened the door. Keanu Reeves looked up and smiled. "Hey, Noah." Noah blinked. "You came back?" Keanu nodded. "I told you I believe in you. And I meant it." Noah stepped inside slowly. "But why?" Keanu placed his guitar down. "Because you reminded me of something I'd forgotten. When I was young, I lost someone close to me, and I shut down. But music helped me find peace again. And yesterday, when I played with you, I remembered that feeling." Noah sat beside him. "I play because it's the only way I feel like myself." Keanu smiled. "That's the best reason to play." He pulled a small folder from his backpack and handed it to Noah. "What's this?" the boy asked. "An audition, a private invite, for the Los Angeles Youth Talent Showcase. It's in 2 weeks. I've already spoken to them. They'll make room for you." Noah stared at the paper, unsure if he was dreaming. "But how would I even get there? What about school? What about my mom?" "I've arranged everything. Your school will excuse you. The hospital agreed. I'll cover the travel and I'll be with you every step of the way." "You'd do all that? For me?" "Yes," Keanu said without hesitation. "Because the world needs to hear your music." Noah's heart pounded in his chest. He looked at the paper again, then back at Keanu. "I don't know what to say. Just say you'll try." "I'll try." The next week passed like a blur. Noah practiced every day in the hospital music room. Keanu came by often, listening, offering advice and even teaching him a few tricks. They laughed together, shared stories, and grew closer in ways Noah never thought possible. One afternoon, while Noah was rehearsing, Keanu walked in holding something wrapped in a cloth. "What's that?" Noah asked. Keanu sat beside him. "Something I've had for years. It belonged to a friend of mine. He was a musician. He passed away, but he always said the guitar should go to someone who plays from the heart." He unwrapped it. Inside was a beautiful dark wood guitar with silver strings and carvings around the edges. It looked old but well cared for, like it had a soul of its own. "This is yours now," Keanu said softly. Noah couldn't believe it. He held the guitar carefully like it was made of glass. "I can't accept this." "Yes, you can. Because it's already yours. The moment I heard you play that day in your mother's room, I knew." Noah ran his fingers across the strings. The sound that came out was different, deeper, richer, emotional. Tears welled up in his eyes. "Thank you." Keanu smiled. "Now let's make sure you're ready for that stage." The day of the trip came. Noah kissed his mother's forehead before leaving. "I'll be back soon," he said, gripping her hand. "You go show them who you are," she whispered. Keanu and Noah flew to Los Angeles together. It was Noah's first time on a plane. He watched the clouds outside the window with wonder, his fingers tapping rhythms on the armrest. Keanu noticed and grinned. "Already writing a new song?" Noah laughed. "Maybe." They arrived 2 days before the audition. The hotel was simple but nice. Keanu stayed in the room next door. He checked in often, made sure Noah ate, slept, and practiced. The night before, the big day, Noah sat on the edge of the hotel bed staring at the guitar. "What if I mess up tomorrow?" he asked quietly. Keanu sat beside him. "Then you mess up, and you get up again. That's what makes a real artist." Noah nodded. "Do you think my mom will be proud?" "I know she already is." The next morning was filled with nerves. They arrived at the theater early. It was huge, larger than anything Noah had ever seen. The backstage buzzed with other kids warming up, tuning instruments, stretching fingers. Noah clutched his guitar tightly, his heart racing. A woman with a clipboard approached. "Noah?" She smiled. "You're on in 10 minutes. He nodded, trying to breathe. Keanu knelt in front of him. "Remember what we said? Don't try to impress them. Just tell your story, through your music." Noah swallowed. "Okay." The stage manager called his name. "You're up." As Noah walked toward the spotlight, he could feel every heartbeat in his chest. The curtains parted. The lights blinded him for a second. And then, silence. He sat on the stool, took a deep breath, and began to play. But just a few chords in, something happened. The microphone let out a loud squeal. Noah jumped. The audience gasped. One of the strings on his guitar snapped. Panic spread across his face. He looked toward the side curtain. Keanu was watching, calm but ready. Noah hesitated. He could walk off, apologize, cry, or he could remember what he promised. He looked at the audience, closed his eyes, and began strumming again. This time with only 5 strings. But somehow it sounded even more soulful, more powerful, more real. And then he sang. He sang the song he had written for his mom. His voice cracked once, but he didn't stop. The crowd leaned in closer. The broken string didn't matter. His voice told the story of a boy who loved his mother so much. He turned pain into melody. When he finished, there was silence. Then slowly, a few people stood. Then more. A standing ovation. Noah stood up, stunned. He walked off the stage and fell into Keanu's arms. "You did it," Keanu whispered. But the real shock came moments later, when a judge ran backstage holding her phone. "Is this your mom?" she asked, showing a video screen. Noah's eyes widened. His mother, back in her hospital room, had watched the performance through a live stream. The nurse had set it up. She was crying, clutching the screen. "That's my son," she whispered. And in that moment, Noah knew this wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The applause still echoed in Noah's ears long after he left the stage. People he didn't know smiled and nodded at him backstage. Some even reached out to shake his hand. But all Noah could think about was that screen, the tiny hospital monitor showing his mom's tearful face as she watched him perform. He sat quietly in the dressing room, his guitar with the broken string resting on his lap. Keanu came in a few minutes later holding 2 cups of hot chocolate. "You were amazing out there," he said, handing Noah a cup. Noah looked down. "But I messed up. The string broke. And I was so scared." Keanu shook his head. "And you kept going. That's what made it unforgettable." Noah let out a long breath, then smiled softly. "I hope my mom really saw it." "She did," Keanu replied, placing a hand on his shoulder. "She saw her son be brave. And that's something no broken string can ruin." A few hours later, the results of the audition were announced. Dozens of kids had played. Some were better trained. Some had fancier instruments. But when the judge stood at the podium and read the names of the finalists, Noah heard something he never thought he would. And our final golden ticket goes to Noah Lane. His hands covered his mouth. He didn't move. He just stared at the floor in disbelief. It wasn't until Keanu nudged him gently that he stood and walked up to the front, shaking as he received the small golden certificate. But it wasn't just a ticket to a performance showcase. It was a pass to a mentorship program, one that would train him for future stages, scholarships, and opportunities he had never imagined. After the ceremony, Noah called the hospital. The nurse placed the phone by his mother's ear. "Mama," he whispered, "I did it." "I know, baby," her weak voice replied. "I saw it all. You shined like a star." Tears fell silently down his cheeks. "I love you, Mama. And I'll always love you." The flight back was quiet. Keanu could tell Noah was thinking deeply. He didn't push him to talk. Instead, he let the boy sit by the window, holding the golden certificate like it was made of glass. "Do you think she'll get better?" Noah asked suddenly, not turning from the window. Keanu didn't answer right away. "I hope so," he said gently. "And no matter what happens, she'll always be proud of you." When they landed, they went straight to the hospital. Noah ran to his mother's room, golden ticket in hand. But when he entered, something was different. The lights were dimmer. The beeping on the monitor was slower. The nurse looked up with kind but tired eyes. "She's resting, Noah. Her body is tired." Noah stepped closer. His mom opened her eyes just a little and smiled. "My boy," she whispered, barely audible. He placed the golden ticket in her hand. "We did it, Mama. We made it." She looked at him for a long moment, then closed her eyes again, still smiling. The next morning, Noah woke up on the couch in the hospital room. The monitor beside his mother's bed was silent. The nurse was crying quietly in the corner. Keanu was sitting just outside the room, his hands clasped, eyes red. Noah didn't need anyone to say the words. He already knew. His mom was gone. He walked up to the bed and took her hand, still warm. "Thank you for everything," he whispered. "I'll keep playing. I promise." Keanu walked in slowly. He didn't say anything. He simply wrapped Noah in his arms, and together, they cried. The funeral was small, just a few neighbors, hospital staff, and one music teacher from Noah's old school. Keanu stood beside him the whole time like a silent guardian. Noah held his guitar during the service, not to play, just to feel close to something that made sense. After everyone left, Noah stayed behind. He sat on the ground by the grave, his fingers gently brushing the grass. "I miss you already," he whispered. Keanu sat beside him. "You don't have to do this alone," he said quietly. "I don't have anyone else," Noah replied, his voice flat. Keanu looked at him carefully. "You have me." Noah turned to him. "Why? You barely knew us." Keanu smiled softly. Sometimes you don't need years to know when someone matters. Sometimes, one moment is enough. A few weeks passed. Noah moved into a small guest house on Keanu's property. Keanu didn't force anything. He let Noah have space when he needed it, but he was always nearby, checking in, listening to him play, and sharing meals together. The mentorship program started. Noah began working with professional musicians. They helped him shape his sound, taught him how to compose, and even how to perform in front of cameras. But still, every night, when he was alone, Noah would play the same song, his mother's song. One day, during a practice session, one of the mentors said something strange. "You know, Noah, your song has something special. It's like people feel something deep when they hear it." Noah looked down. "I wrote it for my mom." The mentor nodded. "That explains it. It's pure. Maybe you should record it." Keanu overheard that. Later that night, he brought it up gently. "If you're ready, I have a friend who owns a studio." Noah hesitated. "I'm not sure. What if I mess it up?" Keanu smiled. "Just play with your heart, like you always do." The studio was quiet, filled with soft lights and polished instruments. Noah sat behind a microphone, headphones over his ears, guitar on his lap. The sound engineer gave him a thumbs up. He closed his eyes and began. As he played, memories flooded in. His mom singing softly to him at night, laughing while cooking dinner, holding his hand during storms, cheering for him from the hospital bed, whispering that she believed in him, even as her body failed her. His voice cracked once, but he kept going. When the song ended, the room was silent. The sound engineer looked stunned. "That was beautiful." Keanu clapped slowly, his eyes glistening. "You did it, Noah." A week later, the song was uploaded to a small online platform under the title, "For Mama." Noah didn't expect much, but the next morning everything changed. A message came in from the platform. "Your song is trending." Keanu read it aloud. "You've got 10,000 plays overnight." Noah stared. "What?" The numbers kept growing. Comments flooded in. "This song made me cry. Reminds me of my mom. Who is this kid?" Pure emotion. I felt every word. Soon a local radio station picked it up. Then a podcast. Then a music blogger wrote an article titled, "The Boy Who Broke the Internet with a Broken Heart." Offers started coming in. Interviews, music labels, TV shows. Noah was overwhelmed. "What do I do?" he asked Keanu. "You stay true to your story," Keanu said. "Don't let the world shape you. You shape the world." A week later, Noah received an email. The title read, "Invitation to perform at the Heart Song Benefit Concert, live in New York City." He opened it slowly. It was a huge event. Thousands of people would be there. It was meant to raise money for families with sick children, and they wanted Noah to be the final act. "This is too big," Noah whispered. Keanu smiled. "Or maybe it's exactly the right size for your heart." Noah nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll do it." But none of them knew what would happen next. Noah had never seen a city like New York. The lights were everywhere. The noise never stopped. The buildings stretched up into the sky like giants, each one bigger than the last. Cars honked, people rushed, and everything moved faster than he ever imagined. But as the car pulled up to the concert hall, his world slowed down. This was it. He looked out the window and saw a massive banner hanging above the entrance. It read, "Heart Song Benefit Concert," featuring Noah Lane, his name. Up there, in front of hundreds of people. His hands began to shake. Keanu looked over from the seat beside him. "You okay?" "I think I'm going to throw up," Noah whispered. Keanu laughed gently. "That means you care." "What if I mess up?" "Then you mess up," Keanu said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "But you won't, because you're not here to impress anyone. You're here to share your heart." Inside the venue, the backstage area buzzed with activity. There were technicians running cables, sound checks being done, performers warming up their voices. Everyone seemed so professional, so sure of themselves. Noah clutched his guitar tightly and sat quietly in the corner. A stage manager approached. "You're on in 1 hour, Noah. You'll close the show. That okay with you?" He nodded even though his stomach twisted into knots. Keanu leaned in. "Remember your promise. Play like she's listening." Noah blinked back the tears. She always is. The show began. Act after act took the stage. A young girl played violin. A teenage singer brought the crowd to their feet. A boy with one leg danced so beautifully it made people cry. Noah watched it all from the wings, heart pounding harder with every performance. And then, it was his turn. The announcer spoke into the microphone. "Our final performer tonight is a young boy whose story touched the world. Please welcome Noah Lane." The crowd applauded as the spotlight hit center stage. Noah walked out slowly, his legs trembling. He sat on the stool, placed the guitar on his lap, and stared at the audience. He saw thousands of faces looking up at him, and then one face in the front row caught his eye. It was Keanu, smiling, nodding, silent. Noah closed his eyes and took a deep breath. "This is a song I wrote for my mom," he said softly into the mic. "She's not here anymore. But I play this because I still feel her with me. And maybe you'll feel someone you love too." And he began. The hall fell silent. His fingers moved with purpose. The strings rang clear and full. His voice, though, small, carried through the theater like a whisper wrapped in sunlight. As he played, memories filled the air. Her soft laughter, her tired eyes, her warm hugs, her final words. The room was filled with more than music. It was filled with love. And then something happened. As he sang the last verse, a woman in the back fainted. Gasps rose from the crowd. Medics rushed over. Noah stopped, unsure of what to do. The room buzzed with panic. But Keanu stood up, turned to the crowd, and raised his voice, calmly. "Please stay seated. The medics have it under control. Let's give them space, and let the music continue." Noah looked down at his guitar, confused. Should he keep going? Then from the back of the hall someone shouted, "Play it!" "Again, Noah!" Another voice joined in. "Please!" He looked at Keanu, who gave a small nod. Noah strummed the opening chord once more. This time he didn't just play it for his mother. He played it for every person in that room who had lost someone. For everyone carrying pain. For everyone trying to smile through heartbreak. The music grew stronger, his voice more confident. And when the final note rang out, silence held for just a second longer than it should have. Then the crowd rose to its feet in one massive wave of applause. Some people cried, others clapped until their hands hurt, and Noah just sat there, stunned, breathing heavily, tears falling, freely. After the concert, a man approached him backstage. He was tall, dressed in a suit with silver glasses and a kind smile. "Hello, Noah. I'm David," he said, shaking his hand. "I run the Rise Foundation. We help young artists from hard situations. I watched you tonight, and I want to offer you something." Noah blinked. "Me?" "Yes," David said. "A full music scholarship, plus housing, plus a team of mentors. You'll have everything you need to grow." Noah didn't know what to say. Keanu stepped forward. "This could be your next step." Noah looked at the floor. "But I don't want to leave." "You won't be leaving," David said. "You'll be growing, and we'll stay close." Noah looked at Keanu. "What do you think?" Keanu smiled. "I think your mom would want you to go as far as your music takes you." Noah nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll do it." Weeks passed. Noah started his new journey with the Rise Foundation. He moved into a small dorm with other kids who also had big dreams and painful stories. He took music classes, learned how to write songs, how to use software, how to play with bands. Every weekend he video called Keanu. They talked about everything: music, memories, life. And every time Noah played something new, Keanu listened like it was the first time. One afternoon, while practicing a new melody, Noah stopped suddenly. He had an idea. He called Keanu immediately. "What if we started something?" he said. Something for kids like me, who lost someone, who don't have much, but have music. Keanu smiled on the other end. What do you have in mind? A music house, Noah said. A place where kids can learn to play, record songs, write about their feelings, and heal. Keanu was silent for a moment. Then, he spoke slowly. Let's do it. They started small. A rented building in their old town. Second-hand instruments. Volunteers from the local music school. And one big banner that read, The Melody Project. Founded by Keanu Reeves and Noah. Lane the first week, 3 kids showed up. The next week, 10. By the end of the month, the rooms were full. Guitars strummed in every corner. Laughter echoed down the halls. Shy kids wrote songs. Sad kids found hope. And broken hearts started to heal, note by note. Noah walked through the hallway one evening, listening to a young girl sing softly in the practice room. He smiled. This, he whispered. This is what Mama would have wanted, but life wasn't done surprising him. One day, a man walked into the building. He had a large camera, a press badge, and a curious smile. Hi, he said. I'm from a show called Real Lives. We tell stories that inspire people. And yours is one of the most inspiring we've ever heard. Noah blinked. Me? Yes. You. And Keanu. And this place. We want to share it with the world. Noah hesitated. Keanu stepped in. Only if Noah wants to. The boy thought for a long moment, then nodded. Okay, but only if it helps more kids find hope. 2 months later, the episode aired. It showed Noah's journey, the hospital, the broken string, the standing ovation, the tears, the foundation, the music house, and people everywhere responded. Letters poured in. Donations flooded the website. Celebrities shared the video. A famous producer called and said, I want to help that boy make his first album. Noah sat in the corner of the music house with Keanu, reading messages from people all over the world. Your song helped me after my mom died. My son watches your story every night before bed. Thank you for making me feel less alone. Noah looked up. I can't believe this is happening, Keanu smiled. It's what happens when you choose kindness and courage over fear. Noah wiped his eyes. I wish Mama could see this. Keanu placed a hand on his shoulder. She does. But what they didn't know was that the biggest twist was yet to come. The weeks after the TV episode aired felt like a dream Noah didn't want to wake from. People all over the world knew his name now. Strangers wrote letters. Artists asked to collaborate. Music schools sent open invitations. But Noah stayed grounded. He didn't want fame. He just wanted to make a difference. He still practiced every morning. He still wrote songs late at night, in the quiet corner of the music house. And every Sunday he played his mother's song for the children in the healing room, a space filled with pillows, soft lights, and stories whispered between chords. But one evening, just before closing, an unexpected message came in. A letter arrived in a small envelope written in neat handwriting. It simply read, Dear Noah, my name is Julie. I think I knew your mom, but I don't think she ever told you about me. Can we meet? I have something important to give you. I believe it belongs to you. Noah read the letter again and again. He turned to Keanu, confused. Who's Julie? Keanu took the letter gently and scanned the words. Maybe someone from her past, he said. Maybe she has something you need. But what could she have? Noah whispered. I didn't know she had any family. Keanu didn't answer right away. Then he said softly, Let's find out together. They arranged the meeting for the following Saturday at a small cafe 2 towns over. Noah wore his cleanest shirt and clutched the neck of his guitar case the whole ride there. He was quiet, thoughtful, nervous. When they arrived, a woman in her early 60s sat at a corner table, a blue scarf wrapped around her neck. She looked up when they walked in. Her eyes welled with tears the moment she saw Noah. You look just like her, she whispered as he approached. Noah sat down slowly, Keanu beside him. Are you really Julie? She nodded. I was your mother's best friend, years ago. We were like sisters, but life pulled us apart. I moved overseas. She stayed here. We lost touch. And I only found out about her passing through the news story about you. Noah's voice cracked. Why didn't she ever mention you? Julie wiped her eyes. Maybe she was trying to protect you, or maybe she thought the past didn't matter anymore, but there's something she left behind, and she gave it to me, told me to hold on to it in case something ever happened to her. From her bag, Julie pulled out a small wooden box, old but beautifully carved. She slid it across the table to Noah. His fingers trembled as he opened it. Inside was a stack of letters, all addressed to him, and beneath them, a flash drive with a small label that said, "For Noah's ears only." Noah couldn't speak. Julie touched his hand. She wrote them over the years. I think she didn't want to overwhelm you. Or maybe she was waiting for the right time. And even after all the distance, she trusted me to give this to you. Noah whispered, "Thank you." That night, back at Keanu's guest house, Noah sat on the floor, the wooden box open beside him. He read the first letter. It was written when he was just 5. Dear Noah, you fell asleep on my chest today. I could feel your heartbeat. It reminded me why I keep fighting every day. I don't know what your future holds, but I want you to always remember. You were born from love. Pure love. Each letter came from a different year. Some were short, others long. Some were happy, full of memories. Others were written during hospital stays, full of pain and hope. And finally, he plugged in the flash drive. Keanu sat beside him, silently supporting. Noah put on headphones and pressed play. His mother's voice filled his ears. Hi, baby, I hope you're older now, maybe even taller than me. Maybe you're playing music somewhere, maybe you've already faced heartbreak, but I hope you're still kind. I recorded this for you because I knew one day I wouldn't be around to say it in person. Noah's lips trembled. I want you to know I'm proud of you. Even if you feel lost, even if you've made mistakes, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. And I hope you keep playing, because your music is how you'll keep me close. He took the headphones off, tears pouring down his cheeks. Keanu wrapped an arm around him. She's still guiding you, he said softly. The next morning, Noah walked into the music house with something different in his heart. He had an idea. He called all the kids, mentors, and volunteers together in the big practice hall. I want to do something new, he said. I want to write an album, not just by me, but with all of you. The room went quiet. Then one kid raised his hand. Really? With us? Yes, Noah nodded. Each song will be about someone we've lost, or something we've survived. We'll call it Notes of Hope, and we'll release it for free, for everyone who needs healing. Applause broke out. The next 2 months were magical. Every day, kids worked together. They wrote lyrics, played instruments, sang harmonies, cried, laughed, supported each other. Noah helped guide them, but he didn't lead alone. He wanted them to feel it was theirs. Keanu funded the recording. A local studio donated equipment. Even famous musicians offered guest vocals. When the album was done, Noah uploaded it online, and within a week, it went viral. People didn't just listen, they felt it. Parents emailed saying their children slept peacefully to the songs. Hospitals began playing it in waiting rooms. Teachers used it in grief counseling. And then, one morning, Noah woke up to a message from a major global music award show. They had nominated Notes of Hope for Best Inspirational Album of the Year. Noah dropped the phone in shock. This isn't happening, he said. Keanu picked it up, laughing. Oh, it's happening. Noah sat down, overwhelmed. We didn't make it for awards. I know, Keanu said. That's why it deserves one. The night of the award show arrived. Red carpets, flashing cameras, celebrities everywhere. Noah wore a simple black suit, not because it was expensive, but because it reminded him of something his mother once said. Always show up looking like the world already believes in you. He held Keanu's hand tight as they walked inside. During the ceremony, they sat, among stars, music legends, and producers. And then, the presenter stepped on stage. The winner for Best Inspirational Album, Notes of Hope by Noah Lane and the Melody Project. Noah froze. People clapped, cameras flashed, but all he could do was stare ahead. "Go," Keanu whispered. Noah walked slowly to the stage, heart pounding. He stood at the microphone, holding the trophy. Then he looked out at the crowd. "This isn't mine," he said quietly. "This belongs to every kid who lost someone. Every kid who cried alone. Every kid who thought the world forgot them. We're still here. And we're still singing." Applause thundered through the hall. But for Noah, the most important moment came hours later. Back at the guest house, he placed the trophy beside the wooden box. He strummed his guitar and whispered, "We did it, Mama." Again, but the story wasn't over yet, because one final chapter remained, and it would change everything. The morning after the awards ceremony, Noah woke up before the sun. The trophy sat quietly on the shelf beside the wooden box, glowing softly in the early light. He got up, pulled on a hoodie, and stepped outside into the cool morning air. The city was still asleep, but his heart wasn't. He walked to the porch steps and sat with his guitar. He didn't play it. Not yet. He just sat with it. After a while, Keanu joined him holding 2 mugs of warm tea. "You didn't sleep much," Keanu said gently. "I couldn't," Noah replied. "My heart's too full, and my mind won't slow down." Keanu nodded. "That's what purpose feels like." "Do you think she's really proud of me?" Noah asked quietly. "I know she is," Keanu said. "She's part of every note you play." Noah looked down at his guitar, then out at the sky as it slowly turned pink with sunrise. "I want to take this further," he said. "I want to build more music houses, everywhere, so more kids can heal. Not just here, but all over the world." Keanu smiled. "Then that's what we'll do." By the end of that year, the Melody Project had grown beyond anything they expected. With the help of donations, grants, and supporters from across the globe, new music houses opened in 3 cities, one in Texas, one in Ohio, and one in the Philippines. Each location had its own team of teachers, mentors, counselors, and instruments. Noah traveled to every opening. He didn't just show up as a guest. He sat with the kids. He helped them write their first songs. He listened when they cried. And he played his mother's song every time, telling them, "This song isn't just mine anymore, it's yours now too." Soon, a large tech company approached Keanu and Noah with a partnership idea. "We want to build a music app, just for your kids," the rep said. "One where they can safely share their songs, connect with mentors, and even record from home." Noah's eyes lit up. "And we'll call it Hear Me," he said, "because that's all every child truly wanted, to be heard." A few months later, Hear Me launched. Within a week, thousands of songs had been uploaded. Some were raw, some were off-key, some were whispered, but all of them were real. Songs about missing dads, songs about bullying, songs about being afraid, and songs about being brave anyway. Noah listened to as many as he could every night before bed. Sometimes he replied with messages. Other times he added guitar parts and sent them back. The kids couldn't believe it. "You mean, Noah Lane heard my song?" They'd whisper in awe. But Noah never saw himself as a star. He was just a boy with a guitar who never stopped playing for his mom. One winter morning, Noah received a letter that shook him. It was handwritten, short, with no return address. "Dear Noah, you don't know me, but my daughter came to your music house. She had been silent for months after losing her brother. We couldn't reach her. Then she started writing songs, at night, in the dark. Then one day she sang one to us. It was the first time we'd seen her smile in a year. I wanted to say thank you. You didn't just help her, you helped our whole family. Sincerely, a grateful father." Noah sat with the letter in his lap for a long time. Then he picked up his guitar and played a soft new melody. One that sounded like snow falling. One that sounded like healing. He knew then. He had found his calling. One night, while sitting in the music house alone, Noah heard the door open. He expected a student or a teacher, but instead, it was a woman with tired eyes holding a small boy by the hand. She looked around nervously. "Is this where the boy who sings about his mom is?" she asked. Noah stood and walked over gently. "That's me. How can I help?" She looked down, then back up. "My son hasn't spoken in months. After his dad died, we heard about this place and he said he wanted to come." Noah knelt down in front of the boy, who looked no older than 7. "Hi," Noah said softly. "You like music?" The boy nodded once. "Would you like to sit and strum my guitar?" The boy nodded again. Noah handed him the guitar, showing him how to hold it. The boy pressed his fingers down and strummed gently. The sound was rough, uneven. But something in his face lit up. His mom began to cry. "This is the first thing he's done in weeks." Noah looked at her and smiled. "He's just starting his song." A few days later, the media started calling again. They wanted more interviews, more appearances. A documentary crew wanted to follow Noah's life. He turned most of them down, except for one. It was a small channel, independent, quiet, and the reporter who came didn't bring a big team. She brought a notebook and one camera. "I don't want to film your success," she said. "I want to understand your soul." That interview became a turning point, not because it made Noah more famous, but because it helped him see something clearly. In the final question, she asked, "What would you say to your mom if she were sitting here today?" Noah closed his eyes, and he spoke from his heart. "I'd say, thank you for never giving up on me. Thank you for every lullaby. Thank you for believing I could turn pain into purpose. And thank you for being the first person to ever hear me." A few months later, Keanu had a surprise. They stood outside a new building still under construction. "What's this?" Noah asked. Keanu handed him a paper with the title, "The Melody Academy." "A full school," Keanu said. "Not just for music, but for life. Music, healing, storytelling, growth. A place where no child is ever invisible again." Noah's hands shook as he looked at the blueprints. "You built this for them?" Keanu smiled. "No, we built this for all of us." On the opening day of the Melody Academy, children filled the halls, holding instruments, hugging volunteers, laughing in ways they hadn't in a long time. Noah stood on the small stage in the main hall and looked out at them. He picked up his guitar, and just before playing, he said, "This place isn't about perfection. It's about heart. If your voice shakes, let it shake. If you cry, let the tears fall. Because every note you play, every word you write, matters." And then he played the song, the one he always played, the one he first played in that hospital room, the one he played beside his mother's bed, the one he sang with Keanu the very first time, his mother's song, and as he played, every child sang with him. It became their song now. Years later, when people asked Noah how it all started, he would smile and say, with a broken string and a heart that refused to stay silent. And when they asked about Keanu Reeves, he'd say, "He didn't just change my life. He helped me build one." Noah never stopped playing, and the world never stopped listening.